Hi, ThatPaulGuy. As discussed in a previous video, I am working a little bit with C++ and Python, and I've also ventured into starting to write Java and trying to figure out and do some tutorials in Java. The IDE that I've chosen for Java is NetBeans. You can get that directly off Oracle's website or where you download Java. There's two different links. There's one for Java itself, which you can configure, or the NetBeans, which will go ahead and download, configure, and everything. You can install it, and you're up and ready to go. Java is an Oracle product. Sun Microsystems originally wrote it. Sun Microsystems and Microsoft don't get along too well, and that's the reason why it's very difficult to get a Java app to work on Visual Studio, which many people might already be using. So what I've done in this case is we've started our NetBeans. We've got it up and we've got it running, and we're going to go ahead and start just a regular project. You can do that one of two ways. You can do from the file, drop down to new project, or in the toolbar there should already be something configured. It says new project. It's the file folder. Click on the file folder. You can see I've downloaded a couple other extensions. Right now we're just going to concern ourselves with the Java extension or the Java application. And next, I've already experimented, like I said, with a couple of different things before, but we're just going to call this something simple. Let's go Java app. And so we're going to go ahead and finish that. As you can tell, it already creates a main class. It's also called Java app. And that's a very important thing in Java, is that anytime you write a Java application, you have to have a class already in it. One public class per Java application. You have as many private classes as you want, but you can only have one public class. In this case, our public class is called Java app. The package is also called Java app, all small letters. I will get to that in some of the tutorial as I figure out how to use different packages. But for the time being, we're just doing a simple class. We are this when you create this, it already does put your main function in there for you. So you already have a static void main, and then I've actually borrowed a line of code out of a different program. Very simple. System out, which means it's going to go ahead and go to the console, which in this case is down here. We'll see that in a moment. Print line, or print ln in this case, and then anything in the parentheses inside the quotations will come out to the console. Now to see this in action, boom, just like that, run Java out, which is what's in my quotations. Build successful, and it didn't take any time at all. It's important to note also that Java, as you build larger programs, you might see it take more time to compile than an IDE that is doing something like C++ or Python. Java is its own environment, which means that it compiles and it puts everything to machine code no matter what system you're running. So if I have a Java application that I've written on my Windows computer and I give it to somebody that's running Mac, it's not going to have a problem running on a Mac. It doesn't have to do anything special or install anything different, because this automatically writes out to basically to machine code to the computer itself. Java does a couple of different things in the background. That's why it runs sometimes a little bit slower. It's not going to be noticeable in something like this. A couple things to note here is we're going to go ahead and put another line in here. Let's say this is going to be something different, and we're going to call this, say, my second line. Just something basic. And this is going to print, and you're thinking, okay, well, that was easy enough. I can do that all day long. Yes, you can, but there's also something a little bit different. Let's instead this time take out this. What's going to happen here, and we might as well go up here and put a space. What's going to happen here is, because this has a line return, actually we need to do that the other way around. This has a line return, but we've now taken that out. So this will operate just a little bit differently. And as you can see, it did. My second line, Java out. So what happened here is this is going to print out to console, and it's going to return. So at the end of that line, it automatically returns. This one, since we've taken out the line, it's not going to return. So anything that executed after this will be on the same console line, as this line right here. So on my second line, that's why this doesn't say my third line. It says Java out. We could say still line 2. Because it is still line 2. You can also do a couple interesting things I've noticed is if you go ahead and hit return after a line, it will keep letting you type. Now all these are going to appear, guess where? On the same line. If I do, say, something like that number, then it will go ahead and go to a new line for me. I could actually back that up. That was kind of silly. There we go, just wanted a space. Now it will create a new line for me. And again, so sloppy typing. There we go. Okay, so what we've learned here is that system out print line is going to print you a line of anything that's inside the quotations inside the parentheses, and then it's going to do basically an enter or line return, a carriage return if you were an old typewriter. If you do it print and there's no ln, it takes everything that's executed after that, keeps it on the same line. So in effect, we've done the same thing here. We've returned after this line, but this line did not end. It kept going until we told it to go ahead and print a new line, which you can also do in Java. It operates just the same as C++ or anything like that, where you've got a brand new line with the /n there. So I hope in some way this gives somebody a little bit of a start, and we're gonna keep going as I'll let people know, or I'll post things as I learn more, and we'll just keep going with that. So for the time being, that's how you start your first program, and just a little bit of a couple of print functions, and hopefully it's a help. And if there's any suggestions or anything that I might have been able to do a little bit easier, yeah, just in the comments let me know, and I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time.